iPhone 15 Pro Max and Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Two flagships, both are expensive, and with the iPhone being the most sought after phone, devices like the Xiaomi 14 Ultra remain under my radar. I have been comparing these phones side by side for a few months now and even took them on my trip through California. I tested everything their cameras have to offer: photography, portraits, and videos of course. But also, both of these phones failed me miserably in different scenarios up to the point I could not take any photo. I'm at the point where I can't take any photo. Great. So keep watching if you want to learn positives and negatives I encountered while comparing these two flagships. So let's start with the negative things on this $1,500 iPhone. Now imagine yourself in the most amazing nature spot. You have a one-of-a-kind scene with a waterfall, and for some reason when I slide for quick camera access, it just shows me black screen. And even though I close the camera app and go back to it, it still doesn't fix the problem. So for some reason, it happened multiple times, and only when I wanted to take a quick photo of an animal or some moment that's happening only for a short period of time. Now the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is a no saint either, so the next day, I'm in another amazing one-of-a-kind place, and my iPhone camera was glitching just yesterday, right? So I take the Xiaomi out and start snapping photos left and right. But as I went into the gallery, all these photos from that spot are grayed out and shown as unavailable. I tried transferring them to my laptop, changed properties, and did everything I could to recover them, but unfortunately they're still unavailable. Great, now Xiaomi doesn't work. Are you kidding me right now? I cannot describe to you how much disappointment I felt after both phones just refused to work. Alright, now let's talk about what I liked about the 14 Ultra and iPhone 15 Pro Max cameras when traveling and when these two phones worked as they should. The shutter does not lag and you can take a nice series of photos of fast moving objects. And what's interesting, they produce sometimes identical images when taking landscape photos. Battery life is also pretty decent on both phones. Each had about 10 to 15% of charge at the end of the day. And for those wondering, it's moderate use of the camera app, Google Maps, and occasional email replies, maybe like 20 to 25 minutes of Spotify daily. And even though both phones have similar great performance, they are not the same. There are some things that make Xiaomi 14 Ultra a superior photography camera over the iPhone, and few things on the iPhone that make it a better video camera than Xiaomi. So photography first. A bigger main camera sensor makes a difference. When you have your subject about an arm length from the sensor, you really get that optical blur, which is amazing since you do not even need to use the portrait mode. And paired with the color science, I really have nothing bad to say when we talk about photography on this phone. And it's especially useful for low light and for taking photos of food, since cafes and food spots usually do not have camera-friendly lighting. So yes, as I said, this bigger sensor does make a difference. Now just look at this shot side by side. Tell me which one would you choose? I think the majority, including me, would choose this shot on the right. And it's because Xiaomi did some magic with the image processing. And to be honest with you, until this Ultra, I treated portrait modes on phones as a gimmick and barely used it. But here, it looks amazing not only on the main camera, but also on the telephoto one. I posted some of these photos to my IG stories and had quite a few followers asking me what full frame camera I used. And the most surprising part is that half of it is done not by the optics, but by the software that gives the image this contrast look. I know that not everyone in the comments is a fan of that image processing, but for me, it makes the shot one step closer to my full frame camera setup I use now, and maybe will leave at home one day. It's funny that the portrait mode can be so good with just software processing. Makes one wonder, why is Apple even bothering adding that Lidar sensor to each Pro model? Especially since more often than not it ruins the photos and videos. Sometimes I found myself wanting to take a photo through the window with a telephoto camera. So what happens is, the phone zooms up to 5x by using digital crop of the main camera instead of utilizing the real optical lens. And it all could have been avoided if Apple just added manual override for the camera choice to their Pro and Pro Max phones. I do not need the Lidar to decide for me which camera to use. I know what focal length I need for the shot. If I had the choice to get this phone without a Lidar sensor, I would go for it in a blink of an eye. Especially since all other phones I test on this channel do not have it, and work just fine. It's probably gonna make a phone a bit cheaper too, which is a great plus for, you know, a beginner YouTuber like myself. Let me know if you share my opinion on the Lidar sensor in the comments and see what other people are saying down there too. Now if we talk about the display quality, I think both phones are great, although Xiaomi sometimes does feel like it has a little bit more brightness, maybe like 5% over the iPhone. But here's a twist. If you're using a lot polarized glasses and wearing them, in that case, the iPhone screen is not affected by that. You see clearly the image here. However, on the Xiaomi, there are some angles where you have the screen completely going black or dimming a little bit because of the polarization on your glasses. And right now, a few moments ago, we're filming on this camera with this VND filter, which is made out of the polarized glass as well. And you can see here the footage. The Xiaomi screen goes a little bit dimmer, like it has 15% brightness. So if you are wearing glasses, keep that in mind. iPhone might be a little bit better option. If you're not wearing glasses and want a little bit brighter screen, in that case, Xiaomi is the way. And I have raw photography and video quality comparison on the way, but first check out the coolest looking power bank I have ever seen, the SharkGeek 170 from the sponsor of this video, Charge. It has an epic futuristic design and a wild 24,000 mAh battery capacity. It puts out 170 watts of power. This is more than enough to power 3 devices at the same time. I can fast charge my MacBook Pro with the M2 Max chip inside while also fast charging one of these phones. What's cool is that it also has low current mode for optimized charging of smaller devices like wireless microphones or headphones. It also packs a smart display that shows you all the info about the charging process so you can see how much power your devices are consuming at the moment. And what makes it a perfect companion for traveling is that it's airline safe and can be brought on airplanes. So go get yours. I will leave the link for you in the description. Now, the advantage of the iPhone in photography department is the Apple RAW format, which I tested and spoke on an extent when this phone was just released. And to be fair, since then I almost never used it. So while yes, it's great, but 99% of my photos are regular JPEGs to save on the file size. And if you are into selfies, here's side-by-side comparison for you. So 1x crop and ultra wide angle view is available on the Xiaomi, and the same goes for the iPhone. Let's take the photo on the super wide angle lens. Alright, now iPhone has this depth information, I guess, and quick switch from regular to portrait mode. On Xiaomi, you either have to go into dedicated portrait mode or you can later edit that into portrait as well. We have a little bit of wind picking up. So this is the image and audio quality on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and this is the image and audio quality on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Let me know, guys, which video do you prefer and audio as well. I feel like just looking at the preview quality, iPhone seems to be more uniform. It retains all the details in the sky and the face, like it exposed completely everything in the shot. Looks really nice. Xiaomi though, yes, I see all the information on myself, but the sky behind me is completely blown out. So I think Xiaomi needs to work a little bit more and make the HDR available for the selfie camera. In terms of the audio, I don't know, guys. You let me know which one do you prefer and see what others saying too. Alright, now let's talk about video. Now, image stabilization is great on both phones. The perfect travel camera for me is the one that can provide wide shots as well as the telephoto zooms without sacrificing the quality too much. And I'm happy with the results both phones provide, to be honest. iPhone feels a little bit smoother when going from wide to telephoto, while Xiaomi has this one frame of transition in the process, which is noticeable when video is played slow down. They also have different white balance. iPhone seems to lean towards warmer tones while Xiaomi stays on the neutral side. Another difference would be an adjustable aperture. It allows you to cut out the excessive amount of light without increasing the shutter speed too much. And in certain lighting conditions, it delivers the motion blur to make the footage look more fluid. And like in this shot, the adjustable aperture gives you the starburst effect, while iPhone just controls the exposure by shutter speed. Cinematic mode is decent on both phones too. In my previous video, iPhone 15 killed Xiaomi 14 base model cinematic mode. Well, here they're more close, and the difference is mostly in different contrast rather than in background separation. So on the basic entry level of filming, both phones are the same, but if you want to go a bit more in depth, then strange things start to happen. I think that the camera interface and modes on Xiaomi 14 Ultra do get confusing sometimes. The mode for the best image quality I would recommend to use is the Master Cinema, as it provides pretty good colors and overall image, but unfortunately it's available only for the main camera. I did get some nice videos with HDR on 1x, 3.2 and 5x cameras, but it took me a bit of color grading with my own LUTs to enhance the footage before posting it to Instagram. In the area where iPhone is still the king is filming videos with log profile. Yes, it does take a bit of practice and knowledge to utilize the full potential of it, but after you practice a little, then this iPhone produces the results that are really close to a proper pro camera. If you pair the iPhone with the Freewell Sherpa system and their anamorphic lenses, then this combo really makes the Pro Max an ultimate camera tool. And I unfortunately forgot my lenses before leaving for this trip, but here's the footage from the previous video with the image quality just one anamorphic lens provides. So while I think Xiaomi does look pretty good in video department, the iPhone is just better. And yes, Xiaomi also has log, but as you saw in my test, this log profile is not as reliable and not the same as the Apple log. And if you're like me and sometimes need to transfer captured footage from the phone, then this part will be important for you. Now what I do is I just plug an SSD disk and download the files, and on Xiaomi sometimes it becomes a problem. I select all the files I captured throughout the day, but the phone deselects them. I do it over and over again, but it doesn't work. And the main way for me to transfer the footage was some third-party laptop software, which also works like 1 out of 5 times. While the iPhone is super easy to use in that regard. Select the files, move them to the SSD, within minutes it's done. People in the comments under my videos mention probably every single phone out there as the best phone in the world. But for me, a good camera and a phone is no exception, has to match this simple criteria. Size to image quality ratio. Even if cinema cameras provide better image quality, what use of it if I cannot take it with me due to its huge size and weight? And the next criteria, it has to be reliable. I want to take a photo within seconds I see something before the moment is over. And great image quality, well, it's a plus. So as you saw, both phones sometimes missed some of the moments I did not want to miss. For sure, if you're after cinematic videos, then you should go for iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max. Paired with the Sherpa system and Apple log, well, it's just unbeatable. And if the photography is what you're into, then Xiaomi is shockingly good in that department. You probably saw some people online geeking over film and old school cameras, saying that this kind of photography fuels more purpose-driven creativity. And for me, this is exactly how I felt with the 14 Ultra when taking photos. Like, more often than not, if that's a moment worth a picture, then this is the camera I will take with me. And the same kind of intentional filmmaking process I feel when holding this iPhone with anamorphic lens attached. But hey, that's just my opinion based on extensive use of these phones. Let me know which phone you are using and what phone I should try in the next video. And meanwhile, make sure to check out this video next, as I think it will be perfect for you, and I'll see you there. Bye bye.